Hey guys, Sally here. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know I am, and so is Kitster. Say hi, Kit. Say hi to the people. It's been kind of a tough day. What we're going to share with you, we just got out for a little walk, not a long walk, and we walked around the campground loop that we're in. I'm going to share with you what's been going on, what the last 24 hours have been like, which has not been fantastic, and not horrible by any stretch of the imagination, as you'll see when you watch this. Anyway, we're going to roll the intro, but before we do, as always, I'm going to ask you once again, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And so would Kit. So people really want to see Kit because he's really the star of the show, aren't you? Yes, he is. And if you think you're subscribed, double check to make sure you still are because YouTube spontaneously unsubscribes people. And the thing that I really want to say is thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you spending your time with us. It really makes me feel like you're along for the ride, and I certainly appreciate that. I hope you have a good time with it as well. We're going to roll the intro and get right into today's walk around the campground loop. Well, we are out for our morning walk, even though it's after 12 o'clock. It's been quite the day and evening. Walking away from our campsite. There goes traffic. I'm actually, this campsite is much closer to the park entrance, to the campground entrance, than I realized until I kept hearing all the traffic. This has been quite the thing. It started raining yesterday at about 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the evening, and I wanted to wait as long as possible in the hopes that the rain was going to stop. I normally take Kid out for his last outing at about 8:30 or so, 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. Well, I ended up staying up until midnight waiting for it to stop raining, and it never did. So we finally gave up and just went ahead and went out. Kit really likes to smell the flowers, don't you, Kit? Here, let me give you a better look at them. Look at how pretty. Yeah. Okay, Kit, let's get down to the trash. Yeah. We're gonna head down here to this dumpster. This is Monday. Most of this campground cleared out yesterday, and actually a fair amount of it cleared out on Saturday because it was so doggone hot that I think weekend warriors just gave up and went home because it was almost 100. And oh, there's somebody coming in way over there. You can just see them on the road. So a lot of people left on Saturday, and then all the weekend warriors left yesterday. So this loop was completely packed, and even still on Saturday morning. And then it mostly cleared out, and don't think anybody new has come in. Trash is definitely full. Let's see if I can make my bag fit. In the process of trying to get the bag in the trash can, I dropped my phone. There's the Kitster. Isn't he cute? They've got their generator running. I'll tell you why in just a moment. Anyway, dropped my phone, and it went from regular video to time lapse, and I had to stop it and switch it back. So we're gonna, do a little walk around this afternoon. We're not gonna go real far. It's still cold. It's still gonna rain. I think we're probably just gonna walk around the loop, actually. But I did want to get Kit out and give him the opportunity, to do his thing. So down here, we've got a closed campground loop, which they now only use for day use. And we've walked all the way down through there. And there's also a couple of camp posts down there in that loop as well. And these people have their generator on. Why has everybody got the generators on, you might ask, when we're in an electric loop? Well, that's the thing. I waited until midnight last night and finally gave up and took him out. We both got a little wet. And then I didn't turn my inverter off or anything because I'm hooked up to shore power, and I don't turn it off when I'm hooked up to shore power because it doesn't make any difference if I do or not. As in, actually the difference that it makes is if I'm hooked up to shore power, my converter is still running off and on throughout the night, so it's still noisy. And I'm not going to go out and turn off shore power overnight because I'm too lazy to do that, especially here where I'll try and remember to show you the power pole when I get back around the loop. I think we're going to be spinning around in circles. Here, I'm going to let you see this part. This is little dog syndrome. I've never had a dog do this before. Actually, he's not doing, yeah, there we go. Spin, spin, spin. Spin, spin, spin. All right, we don't have to see the whole thing. So he spins around in circles 4, 5, sometimes 6 times before he poops, and we'll continue our walk. Yeah, my big dogs never spun around in circles before they pooped. I have no idea why little dogs do, but apparently it's a thing. So, didn't realize it until that I hadn't, that I should have turned off my inverter last night, because when I woke up at whatever time it was, like 6:30 this morning, because I stayed up too late last night, my battery power was down to 90%. Which is, crazy. I'm like, what on earth is going on? And then I've been up for a little while, not too long, and I looked at it again. I was at 88%, and I was pulling like 1,600 watts. And I was still, tired and pretty much asleep, so I couldn't quite parse that in my mind. So I just shut my inverter off, figuring I'll stop it draining at least. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. How come I don't have any shore power coming in? Look at all those tents way down there. That's a group area. And I think it's Albuquerque Public Schools. And they must be doing some kind of camp or something, because there was a different group in last week, so I guess they get a new group starting today. And there's a kit close-up. So anyway, sorry, this is very disjointed, I know. So I'm trying to figure out why it is that I'm drawing almost 1,500 watts. I don't have any AC coming in when I'm plugged into a power pedestal. So here's something to know. I don't think all that clearly when I've just woken up. So as I said, I just shut my inverter off and ignored it for a while. And then finally, the rain had slowed down enough because it was still pouring. It rained all night and was pouring down rain this morning still. And finally it slacked off enough that I went out to look at the power pole. And I have an EMS that was plugged in. And my EMS is blank. Like, it's not lit up at all. And so I'm looking at that. Look how empty this is. Yeah, like all but 2 sites were occupied over the weekend. Crazy, I tell you. And the people that hadn't pulled out earlier yesterday, some of them left yesterday evening after it started raining. I guess figuring, what's the point of spending another night sitting here in the rain when they must have known something I didn't, like it was going to rain all day today, because we're not done with the rain yet. Come on, kid. We're just getting a little break right now. So I had no power at the pole. And then I came back in, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it a little bit. And it finally occurred to me to Google for power outage near me. And I got whatever the name of the power company is. And they've got an outage map. And I looked at their outage map. And my location is squarely within it. It's actually one of the better outage maps I've ever seen, much better than SCE used to do. So they say their outage is due to a transmission line issue, and that crews are dispatched, and they expect it to be corrected by 12:18. Well, it's 12:16 now, and we're not too far from being back around this loop, so we're going to get back around, and I guess we'll check and see if we got power back yet. As it turns out, the reason I was drawing so much power was that somehow I had managed to turn on the electric water heater switch. This guy's been here for a few days. I think he came in Wednesday or Thursday last week. And of course, tonight's going to be my last night here. I'm pulling out in the morning to go run more errands than anybody wants to. And then I've got a Forest Service dispersed camping location picked out for tomorrow night outside of Santa Fe. And then I got a couple more errands to run on Wednesday. And I want to go visit the Pecos National Monument outside of Pecos. And then Wednesday night, I plan to be at another New Mexico State Park campground where I'm meeting up with several other friends. So that'll be exciting. Be nice to see some other people. This site had, they had a lot of stuff set up. I guess they left yesterday. You know, they left something on their table. Looks like a citronella candle maybe. And they had this site set up, and their kids were playing in this site when it was empty. But a couple of kids, several tents, an RV. The kids had scooters and other toys and stuff spread around. They were having fun. This one was not here yesterday. Look at that, it's a plane wrap. You don't see that very often. Cool. And I'm pretty much ready to leave here. I had a whole bunch of stuff I planned to do outside in the sun today, including some more drone flying practice. And we may still get to do some of that this afternoon, we'll see. So every time you see me stop, it's generally because Kit is sniffing and potentially peeing on something. And as you can see, there aren't all that many people left here. Come on, Kit. These folks across the street from me were in a site a couple sites down for their first couple of nights. And then they moved over here. Can't remember which night, maybe Friday. Might have been Thursday, can't remember for sure. Anyway, a couple times this morning, they must have a remote start on their truck. And now I see the power cord going in. So they're using their truck to power their rig. How cool is that? That is actually very cool. All right, here we are back. Let's take a look at the pedestal and see if I can do this with one hand. Come here, Kit. Come. Of course, he stopped far enough back. Come on back. Come on. I'm going to see if I can do this with one hand. So the first thing is, I want to unplug can't quite do it with one hand. Okay. All right, so we're unplugged because you don't ever want to leave your cord plugged in. And we're going to turn the breaker on. And we still don't have any power. Okay. So much for getting it restored at 12:18. I guess their estimate was too exact. And because, really hard to hold on to, because it's theoretically done raining yet, I want to leave my cord plugged in so that I can know that it'll stay dry since it's undercover. All right, I guess we're going to look up and see when the power is supposed to be back on. And, you know, worst case scenario, I can always run my generator if I need to. Oh, and the laundromat is like less than a mile away from here, which is very convenient. That's the first thing I'm going to hit tomorrow. Okay, what do you say, Kit? Was that a nice walk? You glad we got out for a little bit? I can feel it starting to spit again. So we're going to head back inside and avoid getting wet. Hey, thanks for coming along. As always, I appreciate your time. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And if you think you have, double check to make sure you still are. Hey, Kit, can you say thank you to our friends? Say thank you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.